Have you ever been in a situation whereby you feel like there's something wrong with your partner when it comes to finance? I mean, like, you try as much as you can to understand them. Like, let's say you send them some money to start something, they squander everything. Like, you don't even understand how they use their money. And sometimes you ask yourself, fine, what's going on here? All right? This is a problem that a lot of people tend to face. And the reason as to why, there are some of the signs that they never checked when they actually went on board with these guys, okay? If you're out there, you have a partner on board, these are the things that you're supposed to understand. These guys, you don't even fit financially. Or maybe let's say you guys aren't yet married. These are the things to check so that you don't get yourself on board and then you start regretting and say, oh my goodness, and I saw something about that and I tend to ignore. And I had the hope of believing that one day they're gonna change and they're gonna. Let me tell you one secret. These I'm gonna share with you are 5 signs that actually shows you that you don't fit with your partner financially. I didn't say socially, financially. You know, there is nothing bad. Well, there is nothing wrong with you actually believing on board. Like, hey, when it comes to finance in this relationship, I'm the one who wears the pants. I'm the one who makes all the decisions because the other partner, I'm telling you something is wrong, right? So let's get into the business now. What are these wonderful signs that shows you that you're not fitting with your partner? Sign number 1 is that you guys, you are antagonistic mindset, or you have the mindset that are not actually rhyming. What do I mean? One individual is actually a spender. This is an individual who believes, hey, guess what? Once we get the salary, I need to be taken out. I need to be happy. I need to be drinking. I need to be bought something good and amazing. I need to be somewhere. This money should buy this. We should have ourselves a new couch. We should have our. You have ever been with those kind of guys, all right? And the other partner or person is actually a frugal individual, is a minimalist, okay? Sometimes they are actually called stingy or mean or something of sort. So whenever you realize you guys, you're in this kind of a category, then you're gonna rub shoulders way long. Why? Because you tend to have what we call, for example, let's say an individual who is a spender, they tend to believe or subscribe to the understanding of like, hey, the person who is frugal is actually directing or channeling their money towards. Maybe they're thinking, or you have another partner out there, or maybe you are overhelping your family members to a point of view disregarding the nuclear family or the family that you created or something of sort. So when you have these mindset shifts between the two of you, you either sit down and focus and ask yourself, are you going to be able to hold this throughout your life? And let me tell you one thing. I always tell people, don't ever be fooled by love. Love is the most amazing thing and is also the most stupid thing that you can ever incorporate in life, because love tends to cover a lot of things. For example, you've seen a red flag with an individual or with an individual, and there you are, you're giving yourself hopes and you're saying, hey, guess what? I think they're gonna change. He's just an amazing person or something of sort. But there's something very big inside of that. Okay, so it's always good to know one thing. If you guys have an antagonistic mindset, you have to sit down with your partner and agree, hey, guess what? I've realized one thing, you are a spender and I'm not a spender. So what we do is you have to find yourself a certain level ground whereby you're gonna do, and that gonna actually be so good, and you're gonna rub shoulders between the two of you. This is a thing that I've actually seen in life, okay? Number 2, you find that the sacrifices and discipline is not a cup of their coffee. You try to sell an idea of, hey, guess what? We can actually sacrifice today. We can actually be able to go and live no matter how. They're like, whoa, 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 guess what? I mean, I can do that. I mean, that's not me. They are never ready to sacrifice today for the sake of tomorrow and the years to come. There you are, you feel like the whole load is on top of you. And by the way, I'm saying this that people may think like I'm referring to ladies. Stop. There's some men who are not even ready to sacrifice. Have you ever been with a partner in life and then you're feeling, okay, fine, this guy is the husband. By default, he's supposed to be like the head, he's supposed to lead us on the way. But you feel like there's something wrong, okay? You feel like when it comes to finance, yeah, I understand some of the things. I'm not aware of what he does, but I just feel there's something wrong with as far as the finance is concerned. That is because that this kind of a guys, they usually have what we call the consumer mentality, or these guys you find like they're never ready to sacrifice some things for the sake of the future. So you're supposed to get on board with somebody who actually understands the numbers correctly. You have to get on board with somebody who knows one thing. Hey, guess what? Right now we have to live below our means. We save the difference, we invest the difference, we get another passive income, so that by the time you're shifting from this place to a different lifestyle, then you're able to actually sustain that lifestyle and be able not to kill our cash flow. So if you get on board with somebody who understands very well all those numbers, then you're on the right direction. But if you're an individual who does not, or here they are not ready to actually sacrifice anything in their life, then you're going to get yourself into lots of problems. All right, now we go to the next level. You find that these guys, they do what? They haven't done anything on their singular life, and I'm telling you, don't expect any miracle. let's say this is an individual whom you won't get married on or with, okay? And then you've realized in their lives, this guy usually makes some good cash. And these guys, they haven't even buy or bought anything in their lives. They're just living in a house that just a bed, a couch, nothing. Whenever you try to bring on the conversation about investment, they don't like to do that. See, whenever okay, and for example, if you're a lady out there and you're having a guy whom you're dating, and try do this, and you've not committed yourself in anything, try asking them like, what do you think about investments? Have you done any investment? You may not feel comfortable sharing with me the specificities of the investments and the price and what have you, but have you done investments, and how do you view about it? And what have you done for yourself? Because let me tell you one thing, the most stupid question that ladies ask whenever they get married is, do you love me? And then they're told, yes, I love you. Okay, fine, I'm ready, you can marry me. Let me tell you one secret. A time will come, you realize that love that you actually considered most and the most important thing for you to get married on wasn't like the main thing. It's always good to ask yourself, because, okay, see, for my argument, I always refer to the biblical way. Because, see, man should lead, and means that you have to do something, because this is a helper that you're getting on board. So for you to get a helper, you must be doing something. Can you imagine be idle and you need a helper? So it's like having a tool in your house. And I didn't say anybody's a tool. No, nobody's a tool. I'm just using that one as an example. And can you just imagine having somebody on board, and then that person as a helper, they have nothing to help you? And by the way, if you ask me who is a helper is somebody who is as strong as you or stronger than you. For example, say you want to lift a very heavy load. You can't call a kid. You have to call somebody who is as strong as you or stronger than you. That's a reality. So the point is, you have to actually be with an individual whom you can be able to comfortably ask some real questions. Okay, fine. Sam, you're telling me that one day we'd like to get married. But the question is this: have you invested somewhere? I mean, how do you perceive investments? And if so, then have you invested? What do you do? Like, sometimes I tell people it's always good to understand. They may not tell you exactly how they are earning at the end of the month, but you can just approximate. This guy is earning around 40ish or 50ish kind of a thousands, okay, a month. So the point is this: what have they done? They are alone. Okay, they are alone. They have no, or they have less of responsibilities. So what have they done in their lives? So the only question that you guys ask is all about, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? And by the time you realize, there are some of the very many things that you are not compatible. Socially, you are compatible, okay? But financially, you are not compatible. And then that means that you're going to get yourself. By the way, you see, when you reach to a point whereby, say, you have kids on board, that's the time the real thing starts to kick in. Because sometimes you realize, for the love to be in existence, the financial aspect or the financial part of it, it's actually, you cannot disregard it. It has to be incorporated. Let's say you guys, you have a kid. That kid needs to go to school. Oh, come on. You don't pay school fees with love. You pay with money. You have to have the understanding of the finance. You have to live somewhere. That house obviously needs money. Even if it's your house that you've built, in the sustainability of that given house, like the utilities and what have you, obviously means that you have to pay. So what exactly does that mean? It means that you out there, you have to understand the financial approach of your partner. Otherwise, if you do not, guess what? Don't expect any miracle, because people get on board and they have this understanding like, hey, he might change or she might change along the way. But and this is the problem. Have you ever met somebody who is actually out there as a man, who is very active, does what is needed to be done? But when they come back home, let's say they have some cash and they're thinking of starting a business, they don't even consult their wife. What they do is that they say, hey, guess what? I'm a plumber. I would like to start a plumbing shop, and I want you to be selling that specific shop. So whenever I'm not around, you're in that shop, you're doing this business and what have you. You put them in that business. To them, they don't interpret the way you interpret it. To them, they say, and I have this problem with a lot of people. They say, hey, I'm going to start my wife a business because I don't want her to be idle. And then there you are, you dare say that to her. So for them, once they go into that business, they understand like, hey, this business was open for me because my husband don't want me to be idle and something. So you see, I told him that I don't know those kind of things. Guess what? They're not there to make money. And they're gonna take that business just a place where they can just go relax, hang around with some guys and interact with people just to kill the boredom. You're gonna get yourself into lots of problems. You're gonna say, hey, guess what? I did pump in like $500,000 in my business. It was squandered. I pumped in another 200 squandered. I'm actually contemplating closing the business and take her back home because of the approach and the foundation that you laid on that business. And if you realize that your partner is not a business individual, don't tell them to start business. Don't tell them to operate business. There are people who are actually created to be employees. They are so good at being employed. But when it comes to businesses, investments, risk taking, they're not good at that. So it's always good to understand your partner. And point number 4 is that the scarcity mentality is always inside of them. And guess what? They always find somebody to blame on their failures. You ask them, hey, guess what? Why are you not employed? I'm telling you, it is because of government. I tried to actually apply like 1,000,000 times. I didn't get any job. And again, I really wish I was born from a rich family. Right now, I could be flexing somewhere. They always find reason. They don't tell you, it is true. That may be true. But again, they usually don't end their conversation with, hey, but guess what? I'm gonna do my best, and no matter how what's happening out there, I'm gonna grind and do the best that I can so that I earn money. Let me tell you one secret. I made a video and I told you guys that the poverty starts with your mind before it goes in your pockets. That's a reality. If you can do something called the mental shift, how you perceive and view things. All right. You see, when you tend to have this kind of a negative mentality, that's what you vibrate and that's what you attract. It's always good to do what? It's always good to understand the fact that, hey, guess what? It may be tough out there, but it needs me to get tougher and do things that I'm supposed to do so that at least I may progress to the next level. And then on this category, however, you see, let me just say this. If you've ever met people who are very politically charged, they are not vying for, you see, if they are vying, that's okay. But they just love talking about politics every time, saying, hey, were it not for this, if the other person was the president, if the other person, if he did vote, all those kind of guys, you find most of these people hardly achieve anything in life. Because to them or for them, they actually believe that their problems is ought to be solved by someone out there. Nobody. Whoever is vying for the president, whoever is vying for the MP and what have you, those guys are actually fulfilling their dreams. And their priority is not you. Their priority is their ego, to fulfill their ego, 2, for their families, and 3, yeah, I think those are just 2. The reality, unless maybe you have a unique person who has the visions like the you and what have you. So the reality is, first of all, it starts with you making a mindset shift, and also doing something that is actually great towards your life. The last one, but not the least, is that these guys usually have what we call the sense of belonging, and they believe that everything that is being made as money should be spent on them. Have you ever been on board with those kind of individuals? And on this category, I'm talking to men. You'll be with a lady who believes and understands, hey, guess what? I mean, where is your money going? I mean, you should spend your money on me. I'm your girl. I'm your lady. I'm your what? You should spend. You should. Whenever you have that kind of an individual, a lagging individual, even if you try as much as you can to make a stride, because you'll always be there to make sure that you buy love, you buy respect, you do all those things, and you're gonna get yourself into lots of problems. The point is this: at all the occasion, whenever you realize that's somebody, how they actually behave, and whenever you try to sell a sense of, this is not how you're supposed to perceive life, they actually develop what we call like, defense mechanism, and they try to kind of be narcissistic or something of sort. It is good to be very careful and understand, hey, are you ready to actually go on board with that kind of an individual, and are you comfortable throughout your life, and if you relate with that kind of an individual? So if the answer is yes, go ahead and do the thing and don't disturb us, okay? But the point is this: if you're smart enough, you either try as much as you can to actually incorporate some sense inside of them, and if they can't, in Swahili we say kikiumana we tembea. All right? The next point, make sure that you subscribe, and don't forget, you can always grab my number from the specific of this video, and we can talk business as well. You can grab my booklets. For now, it's a goodbye, and see you in the next one.